With global urbanization and the rapid growth of cities, and also with climate change and increase in natural hazards that can occur in these highly dense populated areas, I hope to be able to work in environments where I can create cities that are resilient to these natural disasters and help the cities manage their increase in growth.
My career ambitions after leaving the GSD takes me to the international development community and really trying to focus in on how can development strategies affect those people that are in conflict areas, areas that are torn by war or trying to recover from war. And how can we as professionals within planning and interaction with engineers and architects really try to improve that urban fabric.
Maybe after graduating from GSD, I would like to go back to developing countries where the rapid urbanization is going on and there are more issues to be solved. And I wanted to be the problem solver.
Over the summer, I worked for two organizations. The first one was the ZOFNIS program for sustainable infrastructure. They're a research group based out of the GSD that's basically trying to do what LEED does for individual buildings, but applying that to larger infrastructure projects. And the second organization I work for is called A Better City. They're based in downtown Boston, and they're a nonprofit planning organization that looks at various categories of the built environment within Boston and tries to make suggestions and are proponents for certain efforts that are happening. And both of those were really, really great experiences, and they kind of allowed me to get real-time experience within the city of Boston and kind of in a huge way guided what it is that I want to do when I graduate.
Over the summer, I did an internship at Asian Development Bank in Philippines and did ground research on multimodal transport hubs. Working at ADB was a fantastic experience, not only because it helped me for career discovery, but also helped me to learn the financial part of planning, of urban development, which I didn't know before.
The past summer, I interned here in Cambridge at a small startup firm that was doing commercial real estate research and sustainability. And so what I did for that was kind of just a lot of research into sustainable real estate. And that kind of helped me with my career goals in kind of confirming that I really enjoyed doing this type of research.
So this past summer, I was lucky to have an internship with the planning department at the British Virgin Islands, and it was an amazing experience in that I was able to obviously apply what I've learned through studio to a real life situation, and I felt very prepared for what I was asked to do there by virtue of doing studio. But it also presented like the real life aspects to planning, when you have to get on the ground, when you have to speak to constituents and stakeholders. And that is something that is so important to planning, but you can't really experience it until you're on the ground doing it. So that really helped round out, I guess, the institutional education that I had here at the GSD. It really gave me that additional complexity of how you apply what you're thinking, what your theories are, to what actually needs to be done in a practical but also a political sense. And when you run up against barriers, how do you face them and how can you kind of negotiate? Things that you can't necessarily get in a classroom setting, but you can be prepared for and then hopefully do your best when you're presented with that situation.